Forecast.
Hey guys, this is a weekly forecast for December 14th through the 18th of 2020. Okay, let's start off with the Euro-Yen pair. Okay, so the Euro-Yen, here's the weekly chart. A strong long entry right here, a weak short here. So we're long bias, right? To target at least these weekly pivot highs at 126.72. It hasn't quite touched it yet. Right. Oh, I'm sorry. It's 127.01. Excuse me. Okay. So let's see. It's almost at that target at 127.01. And the price action right here on the 4 hour still looks long at this point, so it's likely they'll just go to that 127.01 target. However, again, if you're day trading this, we still want more pullbacks, right? Because we have an obvious target. Okay, so we actually, well, if you're going to take these long, we want pullbacks. Okay, so if there's a pullback, just look for any strong trades long. Yeah. But for the time being, it kind of looks like it'll go at this point. Okay. All right, so the sum of the Euro-Yen. Let's see. Okay, the weekly chart. There was a strong long trade right here, a weak short trade here. So the target is at 127.01. Price is almost getting there. And price already, it looks pretty strong long still. So I'm pretty sure it'll reach that 127 level. However, if we're day trading this, we want pullbacks because we have that obvious target already. Okay. Yeah, so for the time being, if you're already long, I guess you could still stay in for that target. If you're not in this trade, then we want to pull back down and then enter it long, right? For that target up here at 127. For the time being, there doesn't seem to be any strong levels for entries, but whatever strategy you use, if there's a strong entry there, target that 127. Okay. All right, so let's go on to USD JPY. Oh, if you like these videos, please subscribe and push the like button, please. It really helped me out, guys. Thank you. Okay, so this is the USD JPY monthly chart. Right, so ultimately price will fall to 101.15 to this pivot low. But before that, it's likely we'll get a pullback to 107 or even 109. These trend lines right here. Okay. So we're looking for entries long at this point. Okay. Like I've been saying for the last couple of weeks, this downward trend was weakening from this October level. October 8th. Okay, it's now finally starting to round out a little bit. But to me, I think this price will still fall back to the pivot low right here at 103. The reason being is this weekly long trade that formed here was kind of too weak. Okay, so that, you know, wrong traders always get stopped out. So I think it'll fall back to 103.15 at least once. Okay. But one thing you do want to look for is watch out for this 4 hour trend line right here, from this pivot to this pivot. And it's also on the daily chart. Yeah, this guy right here. If strong price action starts to form on this, if you have a rounding out of price and it's compact, okay, or any strong setup that you guys use, that might be a turning point before it hits this low. That's very possible. Okay, so to sum up the USD JPY, yeah, we're ultimately targeting the 101.11 level on this monthly low. But before that, we'll probably get a pullback to 107 or 109. Okay, so we're looking for long trades on the medium term. A couple weeks ago, there was a long trade here on the weekly chart, but it's a little bit too weak. So I'm pretty sure price will pull back one more time down to 103.15. But at the same time, you want to be watching this daily trend line right here from this pivot to this pivot. See if any strong trades form on that trend line. And if it doesn't break out and a strong trade forms there, that could possibly mean this turning point for 107. Okay. Again, I'll update this on the midweek analysis, so just take a look at that. I'll say if strong trades form here. Okay. All right, so let's go on to the Aussie NZD. Right. Excuse me. Okay, so the Aussie NZD, this is a monthly chart. Strong double bottom long right here. A downward trend line, but weak price action on this short trade up here. So we're long biased, which we're targeting 1.0968, possibly 1.1037. So we're looking for long entries. Okay. Let's see. Right, so last week there was a long trade right here. It's really not that strong enough for me to target that monthly target. So what I'm looking for right here is, this is a weekly chart. From this pivot to this pivot to this pivot to this pivot, you see these two trend lines right here. If on the 4-hour chart, that would mean it's around here on the 4-hour chart. There's nice strong price action and rounding out of price, and it's got to be compact, right? So it's very similar to this price action right here. It's rounding out and it's very compact. If we get something like that, I might enter that just for that monthly target up here. Okay, so yeah, to sum up the Aussie NZD again, excuse me. Monthly double bottom, very strong price action. Downward trend line, weak price action. So we're long biased up to 1.0963 or 1.1042. So we're looking for long entries. Okay. The level to look for are these trend lines on the weekly chart, from this pivot to this pivot and this pivot to these two trend lines. If we get nice strong price action in this area, that could be possibly the turning point. Okay. Yeah, so we want to pull back down. Yeah, so but if you're already in this long trade, I would be careful. If you enter based on this weekly candle right here, I would be careful. I think it could still pull back more. Okay, and if strong price action doesn't form in this area, or a strong trade doesn't form in this area, this is a 4-hour chart, I think we'll stop out that weekly long entry at 1.0416. Okay. Okay. Let's go on to the pound dollar. Yeah, the pound. Okay. Okay, so the pound dollar is a very interesting one. Okay, so there's a monthly chart. This was a double bottom right here, but the price action was kind of weak on this one. Okay, so when a double bottom is weak like this, it does add a little bit of strength to the long strength. However, it's very minimal. And you really can't use its height target, for example, from here to here. Okay, it hardly ever goes there, the height targets. Okay, so one way you could look at this is that every long trade you take, just always think there's a little bit of added pressure long, just from that weak double bottom, but it is weak. Okay. So right now, it's hitting this horizontal trend line right here. It's been tested many times at 1.3379. this one really depends. If there's a strong long trade plus the added pressure of the monthly double bottom, I would take it, but I wouldn't take it to the the height target of the double bottom. I'll just take it up to the prior pivot high. So this is a daily chart. If you get a long entry, I'll only target up to 1.3537. Yeah, at this point, it's not that strong up, but it is up. Okay. So to sum up the pound dollar, there was a weak double bottom here, so it adds little pressure long. However, it's testing this horizontal level right here at 1.3386. Yeah, so I'm long biased, but then I wouldn't take big targets. So if there's a daily chart. If we get a long entry, I'll only target this last short trade right here, just to stop out the wrong players, right? Okay. Alrighty. We'll go on to the Euro USD. Okay. Excuse me. Okay, the Euro USD. Okay, so this trend line from this pivot high, this is a monthly chart, to this pivot right here, this trend line's been broken out, so I think a lot of people will be long bias on this. Okay, I think there was a breakout of a trend line. However, if you look more in the long term, this price action right here down is very strong, and to me, it hasn't really gone the distance yet. I think this kind of price action, it could go a lot lower than this. Okay, at least to the prior lows on this monthly chart. So I'm looking for short entries. Okay. At the same time, I know a lot of people went long on this long entry right here. And the price action on the lower time frames still looks strong up. So if you're long this trade, and you enter in at around these levels right here, there's a daily chart, you should be okay for the next week. Okay, because the price action on the lower time frame still looks strong long. Yeah, but it did hit a very strong level. This trend line right here from this pivot to this pivot on the monthly chart is just really hitting that target right now. So that is obvious target if you're long that trade. Okay, so to sum up the Euro USD, right, this is a monthly chart. I'm sure a lot of people are long bias in the long term, but I think it's still short bias. So I'm looking for short trades. If you're in a long trade, for example, this daily trade right here, you should be okay for at least the next week, because the price action looks still strong long. But I'm looking for short entries, which hasn't formed yet. Okay. I think that's it. Okay. So that's it for this week's weekly forecast. I hope you guys have a great week, and leave any comments below if you want me to do some analysis on the price action of other assets. Okay. Have a great week, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye.